Mary Hassler is the CEO of Harford County Public Library, and I know you have seen her around town. She's involved in pretty much everything, but our newest campaign, Choose Civility. Mary, thanks for being here today, and thank you for bringing this awesome campaign to our community.
It's always good to be here, and thank you so much for being engaged with us.
Mary, let's start at the beginning. What is Choose Civility Harford County?
Well, Choose Civility Harford County is a movement. It's actually a national movement that we decided a few years ago that we would bring to Harford County through the library, through the Barry Glassman County Executive and the Harford County government, because it really does embrace respecting each other, learning from each other, and developing a community that welcomes folks and learn new things from each other. So Choose Civility Harford County was launched just about a year ago, officially launched, because I do think Harford County is pretty civil, but it's an initiative for all ages, for all groups, to learn and to get together and to talk about things that are of importance to Harford County and learn from each other to figure out what we share and those with things that we don't share but have a respect for each other.
How is it different from being polite or using good manners?
Even though we do support being polite and having good manners, we know that's really important, especially when you drive on our crowded roads these days.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree with that one more.
But it's a little bit more of just being nice. It's also having the respect piece of it and tolerance. And the other piece is we know nice people, but they don't always treat each other that well. So it's more encompassing. It's more of a cultural change where we embrace things that are different from us. We learn from each other. And then also we respect those things that we do share in common. And then also the things that may be different between the two of us.
How did the Harford County Library first become involved in this?
Well, this started about 10 years ago through Howard County Library, which is also in Maryland, and their previous director learned about Dr. Forney's book and really embraced the idea of bringing Choose Civility to Howard County. So she launched the whole initiative, and then other libraries joined across the country, and then we decided we would join about a year ago and bring it to Harford County. And it's really an interesting concept. So for example, we launched our first human library in Harford County about 2 months ago, and it's at the library, and you can come in and you can check out human library books. The books are vetted. They go through an interview process because we want to learn their story and what they want to share with our customers who come to check them out. So think of speed dating, but instead of speed dating, you're checking out different books and learning from each other. So that's been very successful. And then of course we have other activities happening this year too. Our longest table ever, first in Harford County. We had a concert last summer where we brought in a jazz trio from Brooklyn, New York. Their whole concept was about teaching how to enjoy music and the concept of being civil to each other. And they did a nice class workshop for our teens and middle schoolers that day too. So Choose Civility encompasses so many different things. It's some of our acts of kindness clubs that we have at the libraries where our children will sew breast cancer patients pillows. We just did that at the Joppa Library this week. Also, they'll paint rocks that have special meaning to them and then distribute them throughout the community. They'll do special bags of goodies for different groups and then distribute them. So it's about being nice, it's about doing things for others, but it's also making everyone feel that they belong and that there's a place for them in Harford County.
How can individuals and other members of the community join the campaign?
Well, you can go to our website, which is Choose Civility, and go to the library website or the Harford County government website and click on the link, and you can sign up to be an alliance partner, which is free. It just means that you do support the concept of being civil and Choose Civility Harford County. And then it's a grassroots movement. So we really are encouraging our partners develop their own way that they bring civility to either the workplace or to their community through the things that they're doing.
Are members free to create their own events surrounding Choose Civility?
Absolutely. That's what we're encouraging. So you can take a lesson from the library, all the different ones that we've been doing the last couple of years. You can look at what Harford County government is supporting, or you can look at what you want to do as a nonprofit or as a business in Harford County. And you can bring it back to your employees, and they can choose how they want to choose civility in Harford County. So it really is open to so many interpretations.
Thank you so much, Mary. It's so exciting to have this in our community and seeing people just be nice to each other.
Well, thank you for having me, and let's all be civil.
Yes, Let's do that, especially our youth.
Exactly.
Well, coming up next, we're going to hear more about this new campaign with our own county executive, Barry Glassman. I'm now joined with Harford County Executive Barry Glassman, the hardest working man in Harford County, and he is here to tell us about the new and exciting Choose Civility campaign. Hi, Barry.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
Now, Barry, I've got to bring this up. Social media, it's playing a very big role in this, wouldn't you say?
It does. You know, a lot of the articles that I've read really point to that. And one of my biggest concerns, that the reason I take this into elementary schools and our middle schools, that the rise of adolescent depression, anxiety, some of the mental health issues that we're beginning to see throughout our school system and youngsters is related to this advent of the 24/7 social media. And it's just part of society now, but I think the discourse on there apparently impacts young people. You know, when they see someone says something bad about them and they read it, they take it to heart, and it's just continual.
The campaign's not quite a year old, so what has the feedback been like so far?
Well, I think the feedback's been great. We've got about 50 partners, so we're in the business community. Of course, the library is a great partner. Mary Hassler's been great to work with. And the school system, we're beginning to get our message out. When I go and speak at elementary schools, it's as simple as be kind to every kind, you know, treat each other with respect. And it's a very simple message, but if I'm at a high school, I do talk about, you know, the golden rule, treating each other with respect, and discourse, how to debate, how to talk to one another. Even when you have differing views, you can completely hate somebody's idea, but that doesn't mean you can't listen, smile, and give your side of it.
What has your administration been doing to support the campaign besides going and talking to various middle and elementary, even high schools?
So we've, in the Choose Civility campaign, we have armbands, you know, our social media. We've gone to social media to begin to spread the message. We have a longest table event coming up where we're all going to sit down and have brunch. But it simply is using the internet really to get this positive message out. And we also have some courses and classes for parents, teenagers, to learn how to talk to one another, how to treat each other with empathy, respect, and you know, I'm old-fashioned, so I boil it down to love one another. You know, just treat each other like you're supposed to.
Barry, when you go into the schools and talk to the kids, what has their response been regarding the movement?
I think it's been pretty receptive, and you know, of course, I use puppies and kittens and all the good things that make you feel good, and I'm like, you know, we're all different. It's really talking about the difference we have, and that but at the end of the day, we're all the same, and how do you make each other feel good and so forth.
Looking ahead, what do you hope to accomplish with Choose Civility?
Well, I think number one is just raising the level of discourse, even in public meetings or the way we treat each other. But I also think on the mental health front, I think it is an avenue for us to help young people and to help families deal with the stress, the anxiety, the depression, all those things that are kind of out there in the hidden shadows, that we begin to address those, and some of that is just the way we treat one another.
Barry, thanks again for coming out today. I know your schedule is really busy, and this is just such an important campaign.
Thanks for having me and help spreading the word to everyone.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's just simple. Be kind. Well, in the short period of time it's been around, Choose Civility has had a major impact on Harford County. But the supporters are essential. We'll hear from some of the biggest supporters coming up next. Matt Slatus is the general manager of our very own Aberdeen Ironbirds, and he is here today to tell us about his involvement with the movement. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Christy.
Now, Matt, how did the Ironbirds first become involved with Choose Civility?
And while we're a baseball team, Christy, we really look at ourselves as a community partner. And when the library and the county approached us, just to share the idea and to share what had been done in Howard County, it was almost a light bulb moment for us.
How does Choose Civility fit in with the Ironbirds' mission?
more than anything, we're about providing affordable family fun and a safe environment. And in doing that, we're able to share really a civil venue, a civil location for Harford County, for the Upper Chesapeake region to gather. And we're proud to host that at 38 baseball games throughout the summer. At the same time, we're proud to be in the public schools. We're proud to give back to the community. We look at ourselves as the community's organization.
Well, speaking of concepts, Rifkin Stadium is the location this month for the longest table. Let's talk about that.
Sure. So it's incredibly exciting every time you get to use the ballpark for something other than baseball. And for the couple hundred people that will be out at the longest table, we will have literally an incredibly long table set up for a few hundred people to come and talk about things that are important to them, talk about concepts that we may not talk about on a daily basis with our friends and neighbors, and do it all over a great breakfast at the ballpark taking place on Saturday, May 4th.
Speaking to other business leaders in the community, why would you say it's really important for them to partner with Choose Civility?
I think this is something that we can all learn from. We go through our day-to-day, we're speaking to people on the phone, we meet with folks in person, and we try and be as kind as we can. But at the end of the day as well, we all answer to a boss. We all answer to a board. It's important that while answering to that boss, while answering to that board, we remember we're all just people. And I need to speak to you, I need to speak to a CEO the same way I speak to my son, the same way I speak to my wife. We're all in this society, we're all in this world together. And the kinder we can be, I think the better off everyone will be for that.
Matt, thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing you at the ballpark this summer.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the opportunity to chat and look forward to seeing you and the rest of Harford County out at the ballpark all summer long.
Well, it's a great partnership that we have going with the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
Thank you so much.
Now, coming up next, we're going to hear more about Choose Civility from a 7th grader from Bel Air Middle School. What does she think, and how has this movement impacted her? Joining me now is Alexia DeLuninas. She is from the We Can Serve movement. She is also a 7th grader at Bel Air Middle School, and she's here to tell us about what Choose Civility actually means to her. Hi, Alexia.
Hi.
Now, Alexia, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I am 13. I am in 7th grade. I am a swimmer. I play the violin, and I'm in my school orchestra. I'm a straight A student. I am a member of the We Can Serve Youth Board of Advisors. I help out a lot with Ben's Wish Foundation, and I am receiving the Harford County Service Learning Star Award, and I am a Carson Scholar.
Why is it so important to be kind and civil to people in our community, especially as a young person?
So it's important because that's the way you want to be treated. That's the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. If you're kind to someone, it makes it a lot easier for them to be kind to you. And with social media nowadays, it's harder because imagine the other person. Imagine if you were in their shoes, if you're not being kind to them. And things on social media, they never go away, really, and that just puts a mark on you. And as a young person, that can make a huge difference in your life.
Sometimes, unfortunately, we see some negative comments out there. Have you dealt with this firsthand?
Yes, I have. I was in that situation. I've been in that situation before.
And how did that make you feel?
It upset me, it distracted me, and it was a difficult time, but I got through it, and I got help when I needed it.
Now, you talked about the organization that you belong to, We Can Serve. For our viewers out there who aren't familiar with it, what exactly is it?
So We Can Serve is a nonprofit that was started by Grace Callwood when she was 7 years old. They help homeless, sick, and foster children, and it's run by an all-youth board of advisors. There's 12 young people, and I'm a part of that. I've been a part of it since 2018. And it started when Grace was 7. She had cancer, and she started doing projects for homeless, sick, and foster children, and it kind of just started up from there. And we do many projects. One of them is extra special Easter baskets. We make Easter bags for homeless, sick, and foster children. We give them to hospitals, local shelters, and foster groups, and there's like candy and goodies in the bag. The kids really like to have those. We also have Camp Happy for the homeless kids. We run a camp for them at the shelter, and they go on field trips, and we have Camp Carnival. They get to, like last year they went to a farm, they went to a pool, they had a lot of fun. Another thing we did was the Breakfast Bags Bonanza, which is where we do breakfast bags for homeless children, and we give it to them over Thanksgiving and winter break so that they can have breakfast during those times, because they get breakfast at school, so they don't have it during breaks. I got my school involved with that. We did it as our service learning project for my team, and we got lots of donations. We did penny wars, we got a lot of monetary donations as well, and now many other schools in the county want to help out with We Can Serve doing those types of things.
Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you very much.
We are very lucky to have kids in our community that are as passionate and dedicated as you.
Thank you.
And coming up next, we'll hear more about the people that are involved with Choose Civility. Pastor Sylvia Bryant is here from New Destiny Evangelistic Church in Edgewood, and she's here to talk to us about the faith-based side of this Choose Civility movement. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Now, Sylvia, why would people of faith be interested in participating in the Choose Civility movement?
Choose Civility is a mechanism, I think, for people to be able to express themselves and talk about how wonderful it is to be a part of the human family. And so people of faith basically view their responsibility and their duty to enhance the lives of others. And Choose Civility just provides a mechanism for us to do that.
How does Choose Civility really advance the mission of the faith-based community?
Again, it speaks to that idea of being able to help somebody along their path. When you see someone you just happen to see someone, you don't really know what their situation is or what their circumstances have been. And just being able to give them that smile, that hug, that, attaboy is just the thing that may restore hope and help to them. So it's just part of what we do.
Do you think a campaign like this is really needed?
I do. I really do. At this time when people are so connected to our technology and the fast pace at which we can receive information and send out responses, sometimes we tend to forget some of those social graces that we learned years ago, where you give a smile or a hug or just a handshake to help people know that you really care and you are concerned about whether or not they're just sort of wandering. Sometimes you have that feeling of loneliness and just nobody cares and I'm so unimportant, but this allows us the opportunity to remind folks of how important and vital they are to lives.
How do you think it really benefits our community?
I think just knowing that we have the chance to help each other out, to be nice to each other. I think sometimes we forget that we can just be nice, just be kind, just be helpful, and that benefits everybody.
What advice or encouragement would you give to someone who was thinking about joining the Choose Civility movement?
Good question. I think that in every opportunity, every chance at life, just those little acts of kindness would be nice. I remember going through a line at a 7-Eleven some time ago, and the gentleman behind me took care of my coffee. It was just such a kindness, and it made me feel so good. For days, I sort of floated on that idea that he took care of my coffee, and he didn't know me and I didn't know him, but it was just that act of kindness that helped support me that day.
Honestly, it's the little things, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Thank you so much, Pastor Sylvia, and thank you for your take on the Choose Civility movement and all your words of encouragement.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
Well, coming up next, Johns Hopkins is a partner in the Choose Civility movement. How are they involved and what are their thoughts on the campaign? That's straight ahead. Dan Buccino is the co-founder of the Johns Hopkins Civility Initiative, and he's here to talk to us about the good work that they're doing and also about Harford County's own Choose Civility movement. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Now, Dan, as a co-founder of Choose Civility, how did you first get this started?
Well, back in 1997, my good friend and colleague Pier Massimo Forni, who was a professor of Italian at Johns Hopkins University, he started getting interested in not just whether his students had learned Boccaccio and Italian literature and all of that stuff, but he actually started hoping that they would actually become good people when they graduated from university. So he started thinking about civility and started teaching civility and writing about civility. And at the time, I was actually helping my students learn how to do psychotherapy by using some of the works of Miss Manners and Emily Post and Manners and Etiquette. And somebody suggested that I get together with this other Italian, Forni, who was working on similar kinds of issues. So, you know, only in Baltimore could two Italians walk into a bar and have a civility initiative break out. So
Sounds like a good time to me.
so we've been at it for about 20 years now.
Over the years, how would you say the movement has really evolved?
Well, one of the things we're most proud of, I think, is the fact that we've sustained it for 20 years. This hasn't just been a civility day or week or month. We've kept at it very steadily over 20 years and have had an opportunity to go to many different states, many different communities, many different kinds of organizations. There's been a lot of interest in it over the years. There are times, such as now, where there's a huge interest in the issue, and so we have a lot of inquiries and invitations to speak and to consult. But it's just, we've sustained it. It's gradually built over time, and again, just like here in Harford County, lots of communities, lots of organizations have found something of interest in the ideas.
Looking ahead, what kind of impact would you like to see from this movement?
Well, I think we just hope to keep at it, to keep it going. I mean, it's really turning into this sort of national movement. I think we've been to just about every county in the state of Maryland has a Choose Civility campaign. We've been all around the country, a little bit around the world. So I think that we just hope to sustain it, and clearly lots of different people, lots of different organizations see things of interest in the whole idea about civility. And I think one of the things that we're going to increasingly see in the world is that in a few years, 70% of the world's population is going to live in cities. And insofar as civility is really concerned with how do we live together and get along in community, I think there's going to be continued interest in and need for education about civility and how do we live together and kind of get along.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you for coming up and talking about such an important topic in our community and really across the nation.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, coming up next, we're going to speak to two North Harford students and get their thoughts and perspective on the Choose Civility movement. Julia Foster and Haley Deers are from North Harford High School, and they are involved in a very special campaign called Kindness Week. So they're going to tell us about how that campaign is affecting their class and also what do they think about Choose Civility. Hi, girls.
Hey, Christy.
Now, Julia, tell me about Kindness Week at North Harford.
So Kindness Week is something that we started 3 years ago at our school after we attended a conference at University of Maryland, and we met a speaker named Mike Smith, and he kind of gave us these ideas that we could spread kindness around our school, not just every day, but maybe even highlight it for 1 week out of the year. So during the week leading up to the Earth and Ag Heritage Day celebrations at our school, we have some activities that we do in our school. So we collect canned foods and we donate them to Mason-Dixon Food Drive. We do something called the Sticky Note Challenge, where we put a sticky note on every student locker in every teacher's door, and it has like a random act of kindness.
Haley, why did you decide to get involved?
Our journalism program in yearbook and advanced health, they're kind of like the main perpetrators of it, but it kind of is, we're so involved with the school with like the variety of the student body and different clubs and stuff, so we kind of thought that we would lead by example and hope that the rest of the student body and teachers would kind of join together and join us in spreading kindness at our school.
Julia, how do you think Kindness Week will affect the school for the rest of the school year?
So our school, in between winter and prom season, spring, at the end of the school year, we kind of have a lull in the school year. So it kind of really kickstarts the rest of the school year. It gets everyone excited again after, you know, like the post-Christmas depression. So everyone gets, you know, back into the swing of things, and it gets us just excited to end off the school year in a good way. And we just get to spread kindness everywhere and remind people how important it is to spread kindness.
Haley, what's one thing you learned or maybe something that surprised you about Kindness Week?
I think the thing that surprised me the most was how much people got involved. We had different spirit days and challenges throughout the week. Like we had bringing canned food, and our drama department kind of helped us with one of the plays that they were doing. They collected some cans for admission. And the thing that surprised me most was we had a wear and share table, which is people brought in clothes, and at our Ag Day celebration, we had like a table and people could take the clothes for free, and the clothes that didn't get taken by our student body went to Threads of Hope, which is a local organization. So I think it was amazing how many people got involved in donating clothes, because we've been doing this for 3 years now, and I think it's amazing how every year so many more people get involved, and I just think it's amazing how our student body really unites in that way.
Now, Julia, I have to ask, with the rise of social media, how do you feel about that? How has it impacted the students of North Harford?
I think that personally social media helps us in so many ways. We are able to share what we're doing on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and so even if the students don't follow us and they don't see what we're doing, then their parents are following us, and their parents are like, oh, you need to bring any canned food today. I just saw it on Miss whatever's Facebook page. Yeah. So really, like, it has impacted us so greatly. We're able to spread information so much quicker. Even in our journalism class, if we need to do a poll or something, we just post it on Instagram polls and we have instant results.
I'm so glad to hear you say some positivity about it, but Haley, there's some negativity surrounded it too. Wouldn't you agree?
I definitely think there can be negativity, but I'm glad that we're turning that into positivity and being able to spread our message of kindness, not only to our school, but through social media, posting pictures on Instagram or in Snapchat, and just showing other schools that, like, okay, North Harford is special in this way, but you guys can also do it too. Like, other schools can start kindness weeks, and I hope that they see how successful ours was and maybe they join in too.
Now, girls, it sounds like such a great campaign. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
So we actually added something this year special. It's new, and it's like these spirit days that we do. So on Wednesday we had something called Wave of Kindness Day. So the teachers stood at all of the teachers and the staff stood at all the openings of the school, and when the students were coming in, they, you know, threw them a wave of kindness in the morning, and everyone was dressed in like beachwear. It was super fun. And then we did a couple other days like that all throughout the week, just to get everyone excited for the other activities that we were doing. So yeah.
I think the Wave of Kindness is really cool because it's nice seeing teachers I don't usually see and just having that surprise when I walk through the door, because I'm not a morning person, so I'm kind of grumpy when I'm coming into school, and seeing everyone waving, giving high fives is just really positive coming into school.
Well, we are lucky to have such a great people in charge of such a great movement.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for being here today, girls. And whether it's a random act of kindness, a volunteer opportunity, buying someone else a lottery ticket, telling them you love them, choose civility. If you would like to learn more or get involved, you can always visit hcplonline.org/choose civility. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford MagaScene.